one of the main things that we always like to drive home for religious organizations or anyone is, where's your message? Where do you want it to go?
Exactly.
Right? And Pastor Dennis was talking about that earlier. It was on point, right?
Yeah.
Driving people to your message in any way you can.
Exactly.
So we have a platform, a streaming media services platform in the cloud. You can manage it from your webpage.
Exactly.
And it gives you control over your content. So whatever you create, you have a place that you can manage it and distribute it, and it's yours. And you can drive people to your site with that content live and on demand, and then distribute that content to any third-party delivery mechanism you want. Built into our system, we can go to Facebook Live right away. Yeah. Right? So, and we have lots of tools inside there to help organizations like you.
Yeah.
And we actually have an advertising module inside the infrastructure where you can create your subclips and then tie that to your on-demand content that you have on your site. So you can run advertisements about things that are coming up, another service and things of that nature. And you can actually watch how that's used. You can look at the click-throughs in there and see how many people are interested in that content, and it displays it right in the system. So giving you guys the insight that you need to be able to drive your content wherever you want. And with the experience, how you guys are using it with the Church Online, it's a fantastic combination. And we were really excited about that. I don't know how many churches or organizations are using the Church Online. Are you guys, anybody using the Church Online service? It's a wonderful service. And
so for those of you that don't know who Church Online is, Church Online, how many people have heard of Life Church? Life Church, Craig Rochelle. Life Church, they put out a free streaming platform that all you have to do is you just link your encoder or your streaming provider into Church Online. And in Church Online, what you get is you get chat, you get Bible, you get pretty much an easy-to-use, dummy-proof moderation online analytical program that lets you keep track of your viewers, an opportunity for people to say, hey, I accepted Jesus Christ today. So you get to see salvations, you get to see analytics, you get to see active user accounts, things like that. And it's just all around a great system. Actually, what we could do is if you guys could we could show them a demo of it. Can you put the laptop on the screen for me, guys? Cool. So I'm on the infamous Google. So I'm going to go to Experience.
And as he's doing that, what they've Experience has done is brought the Invintus live stream into the live portion of the player, schedule it in so it just directs that video into this interface. Invintus, we come from a long history of broadcast. We're actually a company developed out of a television station here in Washington, Olympia, which is TVW, which is the Washington State Public Affairs Network, the premier C-SPAN-like station in the United States. We were developing a streaming platform because there wasn't one back in 1999 and 2000. So as we've progressed, we've had a lot of the same tools that a lot of organizations and folks like you need. And driving us is the church, especially Experience, because you guys are innovative and thinking ahead, and really it's been helpful for us too. It's been a great experience to drive some of the products that we're trying to develop now.
So like he said, very easy to use, innovative. So we're going to go to Watch Live right there. So Watch Live. So right now we have a live event scheduled for a few days, and stuff like that. The video player plays here, which in live streaming, what's really important is having a good quality video signal. Not something that's very pixelated, not something that is drops frames, things like that. And another thing is also being able to format to mobile, because majority of the people are watching on this, not this. So it's important to have not just a platform that utilizes mobile, but also a streaming provider that adapts to mobile very easily and not a lot of issues. And so with Invintus, it's just like done, super easy. So Scott, I'm actually going to give it over to you and let you talk about Invintus and the easiness of it, we could say.
I kind of like this tag team thing,
AB, all right, we'll do AB, we'll do AB.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, I'll get back on the screen. Hey, you're already there.
Yeah.
All right, can we sign you in? Or,
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's take a look at what
Sign
you
us in.
guys are doing, if that's okay. So we have a control center that's a web-based control center. One of the great things that they've been able to do with pushing the stream to Facebook Live has really been able to augment both their usage, keep their costs down.
Yes.
All right. So I don't know if that was a planned thing, but it's been a very successful way of thinking about doing the streaming, offsetting the cost to some of the big boys out there for YouTube and live stream. And then absorbing some of the costs for delivering it on your own site.
Exactly.
And you can look at what the analytics we have here. It's that's fantastic. Now we take a look at what you're doing on Facebook Live.
Right.
You'll see those numbers for those lives are much higher. But you're still driving content. You're still getting people to your site. You're still getting people to where extra stuff is.
Exactly.
Really where the heart of what your message is, right?
Right.
Yeah. And this is a great way to deliver and to utilize this tool. Keeps your costs down. That's
Scott,
why we've been able to. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. I know a lot of people might think budget things and like, hey, Facebook's free, YouTube's free, and I know we talked about the whole copyright thing, and sometimes you can get content pulled away and stuff like that. But if you're trying to build a reliable online community, you need to be hosted on your own site with your own system under your own streaming licensing.
Right.
Because Facebook can change, YouTube can change, but what Invintus gives us is reliability and consistency that we're not worried about any copyright infringement, and we're not worried about not being able to build a brand within our domain. And that's the importance, because don't just think, well, I can just buy an encoder, go straight to YouTube, and well, you can, but how long can you do that if you're trying to build an online community with your own brand?
Right.
Exactly.
You're right. And that's one of our key points to our system. It's one of the things that we take to heart. We've been doing since the beginning is we're always watching what's going on.
Exactly.
Because we've been in the streaming space for 20 years. So we've watched things come and we've watched things go and we've watched things become successful, and we've been on the cutting edge, making sure that we give the people who are using the platform the ability to get to where they need to be.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we implemented Facebook Live first.
Right.
Because of the reach.
Right, the social networking. I can click share now,
Right.
and now, well, how many people have heard or have heard the statistic, but when somebody shares out a Facebook post, over 200 of their friends will see it. So if we do the math, if 10 people share it out, or about 2,000 users have had the opportunity to view your church service. So, we're not saying disregard Facebook and just go straight to your website, but drive people to your website because there's lots of additional information, sermon series, plan your visits, things like that. But Facebook social networking, I'm on Facebook more than I am my website, but I go to Google and search things for, to find things out. So like Scott said, your website is important because it drives back, it backs you up, tells people who you are, stuff like that.
And it's also a great, keeping things contained in a management system that you maintain and you have control over is important for you to go back, pull some of those clips, take a look at what you've been doing over time. This is their events listing view, and this is just one view here. How do you scroll down on this guy? I'm used to my Mac, sorry. So we've got all these events in the system here. We've got services. And this is very broadcast centric. This system was built around the idea of a technician being able to get in and create an event and go and use it for broadcast. Lots of fun little tiny tools and things inside here. You can assign technicians to events. You can do like a little strike list in the notes. You can print out the crew schedule in there to kind of keep people in line.
But it's not overwhelming as well. Just sitting down and doing it about 3 or 4 times, I was able to go, okay, hey, this is easy. I can step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. I'm done.
Yeah.
Easy. It's not overwhelming, not complicated, and it doesn't cost you an arm or a leg either.
Yeah.
Plus, the most important part, I think, is having good tech support as well. And with Invintus, there have been times, it's like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Okay, well, let me just log on, and they'll walk us through how to do it live. And okay, thanks. Done. So tech support, customer support, you guys are throughout the week.
Yep.
Super effective, super helpful, super resourceful. Can't go bad with it.
Yeah.
We and just speaking, we used Livestream before, and we had to pay additional just for phone call tech support.
Yeah. One of the things that we believe in is that even though whatever account level you're on, you deserve to have your system work.
Right.
Right. No matter what you're paying, $100 a month or $200 a month or whatever you're paying, you deserve to make it work. And if it's just a matter of misunderstanding how something works, we can walk you through that. If it's a real technical difficulty, we can do that. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's important for us to make sure that you're happy, right?
Exactly, yeah. And like I said, we're very happy with it. We recommend it. So.
Yeah. I can give a really detailed tour of this thing, but I won't, because it's really deep. It's very simple to get started,
right?
But it's very deep.
Should we make a live event just to kind of show them?
Sure, go for it.
So pastor comes to me and says, hey, I want to live stream AVL. So what do I have to do? Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to log in to Invintus. Boom, I've done that, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a live event. So I'm going to go to the little plus sign that says create new event. Going to click that. All right. Now, Scott, I have 2 options here. I have a new live event and a new event from media.
Okay.
Now, what are the differences there?
Okay, so an event is an event, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about things in time. So we're scheduling something that's going to happen.
Right.
Now, you can schedule a new live event with the assumption that you're going to go live with it. Or you can create a new event from media. Well, we had a youth group event on Thursday night. We wouldn't stream it live, but we got the media for it.
Right.
That's what that is for. So you can go there and create all the metadata around the event, and then immediately upload the video for it. Go in and make sure everything's okay and publish it.
Now, as a church, being able to use the new event from media, maybe you stream something, and right now you're just on Facebook and you get copyrighted. Boom. Crap, now my live stream isn't out there. So what can I do? Well, I recorded it because I was smart, and now I'm gonna take my edited version and I can now re-live stream it, and now I'm probably gonna be able to get new viewers because I'm at a different time during the week, different days, things like that. So it's just a useful thing. If something goes down on Sunday, you have the option, a backup plan, which is very helpful and useful.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm going to choose a new live event, and now I have to select an encoder. So, Scott, what exactly is an encoder?
Okay, so an encoder is your source. It's your video. So your video comes from your camera, obviously, into possibly a switcher. But you need to get that out on the internet. So that is done by decoding the video and encoding it into a format that you can stream online. And that's usually done through either a piece of software or through a little hardware device. We have lots of devices out there. There's some that are really inexpensive and some that are tens of thousands of dollars. But in the simplest form is just getting the video out. So you create a source in the control system that you point your stream to us.
Exactly.
So, and once you point that stream to us, we actually analyze it to make sure it's okay to stream live on the internet. And then you get a green light. And so you have a source, you've got a video, I think.
So we used a Video Pro encoder, and it was about, what, $800, $900?
Yeah.
About $1,000. But that's probably the most expensive piece of equipment you're going to spend up front. But otherwise, it's really cost effective compared to some other companies like $3,000 or things like that. So I'm going to select my encoder. I'm going to hit next. Now I have all my parameters. So Scott, would you like to maybe
Sure,
talk a bit
absolutely.
about this?
Sure, we've got of course, your title of your event. It's important to have your title in there. The start time and the start date. And then you've got a description. And that description, that information, you format it any way you want, it'll show up in that format online. So it's a WYSIWYG editor. You can bold, you can add links, you can add links to content in other places, even Bible verses or maybe some of the other services that are out there. And then in the notes section, that's for your crew or internal communication. That doesn't go anywhere else but internally for you.
So if, for example, and we'll get to the auto start and features like that, but maybe the notes is like, hey, we want you to click go live at 9 o'clock, and we want you to click stop at 10:30. So simple, easy to use notes.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of the ways that people use this is they go out on the field. They bring an encoder out in the field. They got a camera. They're going to shoot something. Remember to bring this light kit. Remember that Joe needs to be picked up at 5 o'clock. You know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's important. You can do that on strike.
So production notes. So I'm going to name this AVL. AVL. Okay. Start date, I like. Time, I like. I'm going to hit next. All right.
There was one thing back behind that. There was a thing called private.
Private.
Now, so our system, you can create channel listings and embed those channel listings into your site. So we're not like Livestream or other services where you get landed on their page, get stuck in their infrastructure. You can create your own custom listings of your events based on the parameters that you want, descriptions or times or whatever, service types.
Yeah.
And those are live, living, and breathing listings. Once you embed that into your website, that content shows up in a list or in the blocks. This private switch will turn that off for this event. So you can effectively remove this event from any listing that you have out there in the world. So if you wanted to do an internal communications, so you had an external campus, or you had a group of folks, you were just doing a live stream youth group, you didn't want it in the channel listing, you don't want it out there, but you want other people to watch it.
Right.
You click that private link, it pulls it off, it essentially becomes a private event for you to share.
Which is nice, because sometimes there are private subjects we talk about in church that we just don't want other people to see. For example, if we do a mission trip and we just want to keep it private and things like that,
within
church
the youth
family
group or
members.
whatever.
Yep. So, all right, I'm going to hit next. All right, now, Scott, I got auto start, auto stop, and pre-roll. What exactly?
You're like, what is this, right?
Right.
Okay, so we have automation features in the system too. So if your source is on and streaming to us, you can set this up to automatically start and automatically stop. So your stream goes live, whatever settings you've got, parameters inside the live event that you've set up, works when it says to go. And then when it stops, it shuts everything down for you, and archive becomes unavailable. We record everything in the cloud right off of the system that does the live transcoding out to the larger CDN. So auto start will start at the start date time that you set for the event. Auto stop will stop at the time you provide there. Now it automatically sets it for a duration of 2. Now, the pre-roll is a little deceiving. Us in broadcast, anybody who knows TV, well, pre-roll doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as somebody online thinking of an event pre-rolling before.
Yeah.
This essentially can set in minutes the duration before the event start date time that you set for the event. So the event will actually automatically start at 5 minutes before the hour that you have it. So that gives you a nice buffer before your event starts. Plus, in the cloud, where we're doing all this really heavy-duty, very technical work, spinning up of these servers to do your event can take a minute or so. So it's good to do a little pre-roll if you're going to do automation in the system.
So for us personally, what we do is for a live event, say our service starts at 9:30. So because I have a 5-minute timer, I start at 9:25. I do a 5-minute pre-roll before that. So essentially, I start at 9:20. What that does is, like he said, gives us time for the system to warm up. And then by 9:25, the timer's live, the chat is open, I'm good to go. So very, very useful feature that without it, it can, stress some people out. Why aren't we live?
Yeah.
No, the system's in place, just give it a second.
One of the other benefits that you may not know about is we have the ability for the player itself to do peering. It's WebRTC. It's a kind of a complicated technology, but what it does essentially is it allows the players themselves to start distributing the video amongst themselves. So if you have a 5-minute pre-roll, people start watching. As more players come on, you get 300, 500, 1,000 viewers start coming on. The peering starts to kick in, and then the players start sharing the video between themselves for the live stream, which reduces your cost in the CDN and actually increases the quality of the video that people are getting online and increases the capability. So church is not necessarily understanding, and no, it's not something we talk about in that space, because we built it on enterprise for large, because we have customers out there that do 10, 15, 20,000 live viewers at a time. So
no, that makes total sense. So I've set
your date's a little whacked out there. You might want to. Or you can turn automation on the stop off on that.
Let's turn auto stop.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So now that I've created my event. I've got all my settings, my date, my time. I want to pre-roll it. I want to auto start, which helps because I know there are times where they just forget. Are we going live? Oh crap! And then all of a sudden you get this pit in your stomach and you're like, Pastor's gonna kill me, right? And then he's like, "Why weren't we going live?" And it's like, "I forgot." Okay, well, fix it. So
there's lots of safeguards in here too, right? So he's gonna set this event up, and it's gonna be wrong, right? Because look at the time; it's already passed. So when he gets and sets this event up, the automation settings will be turned off, and he'll get an email saying, "Hey, you set up an event. It's back there. It's gone." So. If your source, things happen in tech, right? Things happen. Encoders break. If you don't have your source stream going, you had an event that was set to automatically start, and it wasn't there, you're going to get warnings from our system. You get email, all of that, and it will turn the automation off. It's not going to go live on nothing for you. So.
All right, so I just changed it. So we're going to be Sunday, the 25th, starting at 9:25 with a pre-roll of 5 minutes. Okay. So this is if I was doing it for an actual Sunday service. So I've done that. I'm going to hit create. Now I have the event name. Click. All right.
And there's your details of your event. So we've got your encoder you're set to, your identification, you're already set for auto start. Now you don't have you're not on with your encoder, so you got a red light.
Let's tell the guys upstairs. Hey guys upstairs, can you turn the encoder on, please? Start the broadcast. They're like,
what? There you go. So this is some details. There's lots of stuff inside here. So we've got your the assets. So you can upload as many different kinds of assets to this event as you want. You can upload PDF documents, images, whatever you want. And if your player preference is set up the way you like it, you can display all of that content under your viewer.
So the encoder is online right now.
Yeah.
So we have the green dot, which is good.
You can preview your source now, I think.
There we go. If we go to the embed.
Yeah, you can go to your embed. Well, here, let me drive
go
for a
for
sec. So see if your source player will work on this
viewer.
Here we go. No, not on this viewer. You need a plugin for that. Okay. So you can go to, this is the generic player that we provide. Pop that in there. Oh, look at that. I did it.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. So their generic player, their standard player preference is nothing but video, which is what they want because they want to embed that on the Church Online site. Now, if you can set up different player preferences for different events. And so they could have a player preference of everything in there, agenda stuff and, what's going on and the description and all of the media content. That's perfect for your website, know. But for what you guys are doing with integration with Church Online, it's perfect for that. So we've got our encoder. And should we go live with it?
Yeah, let's go live.
Let's go live. So we got it set to auto start. It doesn't care if you do it beforehand. And now it's spinning up the event. And the event status over here will start changing. You can't see it, but when it goes live, it will go live for you. All right? We didn't set up a Facebook Live event. Here's where you would set that up. You log in. Hey, we're already logged in, aren't we?
Yep, we are.
So this is how you set that up.
So we have your user timeline. So you do have to be logged in with your Facebook account.
Right.
So for me, it's my name, Dariel Cummins, my account.
Right.
So I've got my user account. So if I ever want to test anything, I can just stream to my user account, set it as private, look at it, test the audio. Boom. I do that lots of times. Sometimes people might see it, they like it, they share it out. Don't know why, but they do.
Yeah, how do they do that anyway?
I
That's
don't
happened
know.
to me too.
I don't know. It's weird. So I've got the option for scheduled live and live now. Now, Scott, I know I was having a problem with this.
Okay.
And I was actually in Mexico, and I called, hey, Scott, what's going on? I'm having an issue. And he said, oh, well, it's very simple.
Right. So Facebook, they're new to streaming, only the last couple years. So they've kind of invented their own rules around how you do things,
Right.
okay? So you can schedule a live event in Facebook, but only up to 7 days behind the event. You can't schedule something out for next Saturday. It won't work. And live now, essentially, you're going to be streaming within the next 10 minutes. That's how Facebook does things. And if you don't send a signal to Facebook, if you use a live now, within 10 minutes of you setting this up, your post goes away. Right? So those are the rules there.
Right.
Some of the other interesting rules they have in there is you can save your content on Facebook. It'll record your live stream. However, you get 4 hours. That's it. So if you have a long service with multiple things going on throughout the day, and you wanted it recorded on Facebook and you didn't make sure you checked out this option here, your live stream on Facebook will just disappear, and whatever you are at 4 hours will be there. So we give you the option here to make those changes.
So user error was I was clicking live now instead of schedule now. And Scott explained to me and said, okay, hey guys, this is what you need to do. And then they did it, problem solved.
Yeah.
So schedule live, if you do it, I usually do it Monday morning. That way I don't forget. Every now and then I do forget, but that's why we do it Monday morning. So Monday morning, schedule live. Schedule live. I've got my title here, my date, my start time, which is associated with the time we set for creating the event, the description, and then I have my privacy levels, which is
only you.
Only
right?
me.
Everybody and whoever you've assigned. So you can set this up to pretty much every parameter that you have in your Facebook page. So you can set it up to a group. You can set it up to a scheduled event. You can schedule it up to a specific page or just a general post.
Right.
Scott, just Facebook doesn't play nice, right?
No, they do not.
You can't adjust your thumbnail. A lot of times they'll drop, and then maybe you'll get 2 separate events out of one service.
Yep.
There's just a lot of inherent chaos sometimes with Facebook. And again, that's why it's important to always have a home base where people can always find you in a reliable scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with social media, what we do is we advertise our Facebook link and we advertise our website link. That way, if somebody's watching on Facebook and the stream goes away and they're like, they're searching, oh, hey, look, I can watch live on the website. And there we go.
Get this real quick.
Yep.
Oh, so there we are. We're streaming ourselves.
Yep. Very high quality. Yep.
So you can watch the preview here of the live encoder. We use our TMP protocol. I don't know if you guys know that it's kind of it's the way that encoders communicate. Websites, it's not really valid any longer because there were security concerns. But the latency on an RTMP stream is from the camera to the screen is like 3-4 seconds. So that's why we use that as a source previewer for right now.
So it's pretty real time.
Yeah, and then this is coming back from the CDN, and you can see the adaptive bit rates that are being created here for them. Simple 720 from whatever your encoder set
and our
up.
system is 720p. So you guys go up to 1080 or.
Yeah,
1080.
Yeah.
Cool.
So whatever you send in is going to be your highest bitrate profile, and we're going to look at that video when you hit live, and it's going to separate it all out, all the way down to audio. So your end viewers will have the experience similar to Netflix, where maybe a little worse quality and gets better, or they get to their cell phone and they get out in the boonies, and it'll go all the way down to audio for them, so that at least they have something.
Right, which is a feature that we need.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So we've got user timeline Facebook page. So schedule now or schedule live. And I'm going to go to Experience Church.tv, same parameters as before. Facebook group, No groups available. I guess I'm not that popular. Facebook events. Choose an event. So that's the Facebook side of things. Very easy to use. We have our embedded code. So if I was for Church Online, what I'm going to do is I've just created an event, right? So I'm going to take this embedded code, I'm going to highlight it, copy it. Come on. We're going to log in. No. Admin. There we go. So in Church Online, I've got
This is
my statistics.
Church.tv.
Yeah, this is Livestreaming
player
Yeah.
plugin.
So this allows them to take the Invintus embed code, which you could put anywhere,
Right.
And put it into this system that gives you all of the features around an organization
Right.
like yourself would
Right.
like, with the Bible verses and things like that, things that we don't necessarily provide as a service provider because we're, it's not.
Yeah. You guys are a streaming provider,
Right.
and not a website player.
Right.
So I've copied my embed code, which can go anywhere. I could take it to my website in my website builder, paste it in there as well. I'm going to go to the event. I'm going to go to videos, highlight, and then paste it in. I'm not going to paste it in because I already have it set for Sunday.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess that up. And then put it in the web and the mobile because different web formatting. This, because most people watch, like this versus watching it on a 16:9 screen like this. So it's just, there's different options. We're giving people more options to look at. And like I said, having a web streaming provider that adapts to that is crucial because do you remember the statistic of how many people are on mobile versus website?
It's 80% plus now.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot now. I didn't know it was a high now.
And before we switched to Invintus, we scoured the country because we left Livestream and no bad bones about it, but we went to Life Church. We checked out everybody that they recommended on their site. We demoed, we tested, and the qualities were just not there. It was so frustrating. And
Mobile didn't adapt, things like that.
yeah, the mobile didn't adapt, and there was pixelation that was really bad. And as soon as we tested Invintus, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So literally the adaptability between mobile and desktop and laptop and mobile devices, I mean, it was just clean. It worked. It works all the time. I mean, it's just reliable. And it looks good.
We looked back last year and looked at how much research and development and time we put into the actual video stream itself. And it was a cumulative of like a year and a half of time.
Wow.
Since 1999 on as we've been doing this.
Right.
So quality is an extreme important to us.
Which goes to say you guys aren't just staying, you're not plateauing, which some streaming providers, they say, good enough, and then they just leave it. And that's some of the issues we ran into. We were talking with project managers and stuff like that. Hey, your adaptive bit rate is bad, or you're not formatting to mobile. Yeah, we know. We'll get around it. Versus Invintus, they were already on it. We're like, sold. We're with you guys. So,
quality is huge.
Yeah.
Quality is a really, really important thing. And you'll lose eyeballs just so fast if you have something that stutters or buffers,
Right.
or even pixelation. I mean, we're a fast food nation now when it comes to media.
Yeah.
People want it to look good all the time. There's high benchmarks now with Amazon Prime Video and Netflix. They've improved their services exponentially over the years because they can afford to.
Right.
But we understand that underlying technology, all the entire time. So we've been able to reap the benefit of that.
Yeah, so like you said, the attention span is, I think, 7 to 12 seconds or something like that.
It is so small.
And
that's why I was excited to hear you talk about how you're doing your clipping, how you're doing that promotion. That's extremely important. And, we're not a content provider. We're a provider for you to deliver your content. But we come from that space.
Right.
We're still officed in the television station underneath, above TVW. So we're in the pits. We're in the,
Right.
we're in the fight.
Yeah, you're not with somebody that is in Dallas. No offense to anybody in Dallas, but they work with the church and that's about it. A church, and then that's like I said, that's about it. Versus somebody who's in the industry. And personally speaking, a lot of people who are in, I call it the church industry. There's a lot of compromises, a lot of half doing it. And that's why we like hanging out with people like Advanced Broadcast Solutions, Invintus, because they're industry standards, broadcast television to doing Google and Yahoo, So we want to be around those people because when you're around those people, it gets on you. You've got that high level of quality, that high standard of stuff. So it's just important to be, and I'm not saying disregard being around church people at all, because we need that. But in relative terms of production value, we need to be around the people who are of that upper echelon, that high quality mark, so that we're growing, we're pushing, we're accelerating.
Yeah,
So
that's why we're excited to be here.
Yeah.
We're excited because the folks like you guys you push us, and then we push you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just a great relationship to have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So relationships are key. So let's go back to Invintus real quick. So Scott, we've got some tabs here. We've got our analytics here.
Yep, you get live real-time analytics of what's going on. Hey, we got one viewer. Look at that. We were watching.
Yes.
So
we're doing
and it gives you the
something.
duration of the view there. And then, you could go back and make changes to your general settings in real time. It changes on the player. You make that change, it happens. And you can...
Which speaking, because there are times where I've misscheduled something on for a Sunday morning, and I go, crap, I got to change it real quick. And within sitting down at my desktop and getting up and leaving, it's already changed.
Yeah, it happens.
So it's not like it has to process, load, things like that.
Everything that happens on the user interface side is real time. We use socket connections to our servers, so every communication that you make happens in real time.
That's good.
So, and then you can make change to automation. Agenda is interesting. This was built for the legislative bodies to do agendas, but we're finding organizations like yours using it for jumping points for different places in the video. Categories, keywords, all the very important things that you need to do to shape your content, because you're going to go back and look at this stuff. You need to find it. You can also create all of your channel listings around this type of information.
Right. Technicians.
This is the great technicians. You don't have any technicians?
No, it's usually just
It's just you?
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
Well, you don't get on yourself, right?
No. Come on, Daryl. No. Location for where we're at, and then back to Facebook Live.
Yeah, Facebook. So it's very, very simple, very basic.
Right.
You notice there's a pause button, and I'll just briefly touch on that. If you hit that button, what happens is, go back to the player over here. We got an on break. You can actually take yourself off air on the player side, right? And you're still recording that stream on the back end. You can look at your preview.
Right.
All right. And when you go back on to air, it kicks back live again for your end viewers. And then we have an online editor. I know we're running a little short on time. We'll go into that. If you want to look at that, you can come up and take a look at our thing. It'll tell you where you went to break in that editor, so you can quickly go in and plop those things out.
Right.
Do simple cut and paste on your video.
Let's talk about cloud recording and editor stuff. I know there have been times where our video recordings have failed, and we're able to go to Invintus and pull the recorded stream and edit it. It looks good. It handles well. And it's just a nice, good fail-safe. If we want to take Sunday's message, put it on Church Online, so, because we usually get it up on a Monday. But if they want to go to the website and watch Sunday's message later that Sunday, we can do that as well. We'll pause that. So the online cloud player, recorder, editor, simple to use. It's a nice backup recording in case your recorder goes down, a hard drive fails, because that happens. So
I'm going to stop this event.
Yep, go for it.
It's our do stop thing here. All right, so you're going to have an asset here in just a second. As soon as that is stopped, we shut down all those instances out in the cloud, and that recording gets shipped right back to our system. gets recognized, and then gets cleaned again. We take a look at that video when it comes back, because you never know what's going to happen in that transmission on the internet from one place to the other. The stream's going back and forth. Your encoder's got enough bandwidth. When it comes back in and lands in our system, we look at it again. Make sure that it's a viable, streamable file. And if it's not, it automatically goes through the transcoding process and tries to keep the best quality settings in there for that video.
Right. So this is the editor. You got your list of videos here. You can choose your layout, how you want to view it. Just simply drag and drop down there. Boom.
You can stack as many of these same clips as you want. It's a very simple cut and clip editor. It's nothing fancy. It's enough to get your stuff edited, clipped in. We also have a global media library. You can just upload different clips and content. So if you want to keep adding stuff to your heads and tails of your video, bumps, whatever, your screens, whatever, you can do that in the editor before you create an edited clip to publish.
Right. So, and then we just commit edits once we're done. And then it has to edit job submitted. Now it's processing the edit, which for us, what we do is sometimes we'll just cut the worship out. We just keep the message. Once that's done, and it doesn't take very long. It takes just a few minutes. I can now copy the media embed code.
And there it is.
Yep. So we're going to click. We're going to
leave. Go to the AVL link up in or just bring it in if you want. It doesn't matter. So now he's got a 30-second clip.
Ta-da.
In the middle. Yep. So it's that simple. It's non-destructive editing of your original. It just creates more clips for you. And then when you go back, I'll just go back before you do this because we're running low on time. Goes back into and looking at the assets here. Now we've got our edited asset. There we go. And a thumbnail will be generated here pretty soon for this. You can choose to publish that asset. You can download it as you edited it, just the way you edited it.
Yep.
You can preview it. You can edit the metadata around it. That's just the title of the edit or the clip.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here, but Scott, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for
having
having
if you're really looking at getting into live streaming, please check out Scott up at the top vendor exhibit. Talk to him. Tell him what you guys want to do, because a lot of times we've got things in our head, but we don't quite know what it's going to look like on paper. So talk to Scott. Tell him what you're looking at doing. Timeline, anything like that, and he'll work. He'll do his best to work with you on that. So Scott, thanks for coming.
And thanks.
Yeah.
We'll be honest, too. If it's something that is outside the scope of Invintus, I'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
I have no worries about that.
Yep.
So thank you, guys.
Awesome. Well, we got a 15-minute break. Use the restroom if you need to. Vendor exhibits, and we'll be back.